Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a guide and a few tips here on Junker Quen, or as I like to call her, Mommy Junker Quen. But that's my name for her. Okay, she's mine. Okay, back off. Anyway, before we start the video, I do want to say I'm live every day on Twitch. If you want to hop in and say hello, be happy to do so. I'll be happy to say hi to you or whatever. Just know I'm live every day. Okay, let's get to it. Let's first go over her kit real quick. Okay, so as you can see, Junker Quen here has a shotgun or a scatter gun. It's just a pump action shotgun. It deals decent damage, as you can see here. It's obviously really good up close, and mid range actually is decent. It's not too bad. You see, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. Just shotgun, so you have close, obviously, we all know that. The next ability she has is her shift ability, which is a commanding shout. Grants temporary health and movement speed to yourself and allies. Looks something like this. Let's go over to the body and see first, actually. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You gain about, what, like 200 health, I believe. So to your allies, and it's just a speed buff, a little bit as well. Health, it's really good in my opinion, really good ability. You're about to die or whatever, you can just pop that. Extra health is temporary though, it's not forever. And then we have her right click, which is a throwing knife basically. Let's say we want to hit this bot here. That does pretty much half his health. And as you can see what it did there, it pulled him back. I did not do that, but you can also do that on command. Just do this command, this bot in right click. When you right click again, it pulls him back. It does it automatically, or you can do it manually. Yeah, you can pull him to you, basically. A little bit like Roadhog's hook, in a sense. Not as strong, though, but... And what you saw it did a little tickle effect, what do you want to call it? That is Adrenaline Rush. It is healed from all damage or time dealt by wounds. So, basically, all her, like, sharp objects, whatever she has now, basically her right-click, her E, her ult, gives the enemies a, sort of a... It gives them a wound effect. Meaning... they're wounded, obviously, and you get health back from him, actually. So let's see if we can get her a little bit done. Don't know if I said it before, but it does also count with her melee. That does also give the wounded effect on the enemies. See how I got some health back here? Try it again. Gain a little bit of health. 10 or so. So yeah, all her things have that. Her right click, her knife, her E ability, which we'll go over soon, and her melee, and her ult. So a lot of those things give them the wounded effect. The next ability we have is her E, which is Carnage. Wound all enemies in front of you, dealing damage over time. Yeah, the wounding effect again, but this does great damage. Half the health again. So here you could do, like, on a 200 HP target, you could technically pop you could pop your knife on them and then E, which is actually a really good tip I do use. So you could do this. Pull them to you. Immediately use your E. You see, they died. I didn't even shoot my gun or anything. I just used 2 of my abilities and they died. But yeah, if you want to secure the kill even more, they might have some healing. By the team, you can just shoot in between as well, like before and after the abilities are triggered. I would highly recommend doing that, obviously. Just make sure you get the combo off, at least the right click and the, her throwing knife and her Carnage. But as I said before, her ultimate also left a wounded effect. It does more than that, though. It leaves the wounded effect and also leaves the anti-effect. And like Anna's nade. It looks like this. Let's pop her ult real quick. Anyone in that range is antied and have the wounded effect, you see? They cannot get healed, and you get actually healed by them. Let's go over some tips I have. You saw the one before where I did the right click. You shoot between, and immediately after you've held the right click, you pull them in. You press your E ability. That will almost guarantee a kill so often if they do not have a healing supported, which they will. But that's why the wounded effect comes in handy as well, because it deals damage even though you're not shooting or doing anything. If that sort of makes sense. So yeah, I would recommend in this order, like shoot, right click, come back, and E. But you can like mess around with it however you want to. Your own playstyle, obviously. That's just how I like to do it. But yeah, another really great tip. Let's say you're on Ilios well, right? I would highly recommend playing Junker Queen there. Either Junker Queen or Roadhog, but you don't really like Roadhog. Let's say you don't. Who doesn't like Roadhog though? Did you feel that? You're playing Junker Queen. I actually did this last night, so I want to show a clip of it after this. But yeah, you do hit a knife on him, and then pop. That's the well here. They fall down the well. Really great, really good. And it's a good way of killing a tank, high damage, anyone really, not just a tank, anyone. Real great. Here's a clip.
We throwing more than one thing?
But you obviously don't have to do it on do it on any map that has a big gap, where they will die to the hole or whatever. Let's go back to her commanding shout ability. Let's say you're full health, but your team is kind of falling apart, right? Don't just use the ability on yourself, basically. Like, oh, this bot is about to die, this is my teammate, bop, right? Use them then as well, like, if that makes sense. Don't just focus on you. Be aware of your team surroundings, how they're doing, and then pop it if the situation fits it. Yeah. What I like to do as well is, let's say, instead of standing out in the open, I do this with a lot of characters here. Well, it's an ability that I need to trigger it triggers for like 2 seconds. Let's say, like, the carnage here, right? And it takes like, what, 1.5 seconds to wind up, right? Instead of like going out in the open, boom, and just hitting the ability. Let's say they're coming around this corner here. You know they're coming. You should whack him, if that makes sense. I know it's a very stupid, maybe brain dead tip, but it's a tip I use nonetheless, and I'm gonna go over it. And this is just tips for like how I play the character, not just general tip everyone is doing. I should said that in the beginning, but it's just how I play the character. So there's another thing as well. A little tip here. Let's wait for this bot to go up. When you have a knife on an enemy, right? Let's say you have Junkrat on the team. You might have seen this going around on social media, but let's say you have a Junkrat trap like around here, right? Junkrat places it, and let's wait for the bot to go back up. The trap has to be behind you, like right behind me here, around here. Okay, we throw a knife, and then crouch, preferably. But he'll go over you. So that the trap was right on here. He'll land in the trap and die, because the trap does 100 damage for some reason. Yeah, really great, really great. But crouch preferably, so he goes over your head and doesn't actually hit it. Yeah, really good. Another tip with the knife. If you, let's say you try to go for an enemy here, but you miss. It's over them. Let's you want your knife back. It still leaves the wounding effect. Meaning, but what I mean by it is, when you pull the knife back, it hits them on the way back as well, and it leaves the wounding effect. So you don't necessarily need to hit them spot on with the knife for it to leave the wounding effect. Yeah. Another thing you can do with her knife as well is, let's say you throw the knife here, shoot and melee. Boom. So what you do is you just right click, throw a knife, hit him, shoot, pull back, and then you hit your knife, melee. And if you don't have your knife, it's out there, she actually doesn't do anything, just melees normally. It does not leave the wounding effect, it's just normal melee. So a good thing to do, I'd like to do at least, if, let's say Doomfist is on the enemy team. He's using his block, right? Or just his rocket punch in general. Let's say he's using his rocket punch for this scenario. He's using his rocket punch, just holding it, charging it. Then throw a knife on him, pop. You throw a knife on him, and he's about to punch away, and you pull back. That will completely mess him up. He will not survive that, most likely. Well, I don't know. To compare, depends. But it will mess him up and disorient him so much. It's really good. Do that as well. Also, overall, you don't necessarily need to use it to engage teamfight. You can also use it to disengage. So they're chasing me, but I will go far away. I'll prefer it. I would not do that at all, though. That'll be a waste. Just reset, honestly, if they're chasing you or whatever. What I would do instead is I would try maybe, if I do need to go away, if they're all above or like behind me, around me, I would try to go behind them. And if I need to go away, I will ult them and I will go the direction I need to. Instead of maybe ulting in them. Make sure you always have some teammates around or teammates to help and finish the job or whatever. Just don't just waste your ult. Obviously we all know that. Yeah, if you need to get away, then at least do that. Also, if you try to throw a knife on, let's say, Zarya, Sombra, Moira, and Moira fades, you hit a knife on her, and she fades away, the knife will just go away. Same with Sombra, same with Zarya Bravo, right? It'll just vanish. Not vanish, it'll just go into the ground. At least from what I've seen, I'm almost 100% on that. It does go away. The knife just drops to the ground. There's not a lot of things really for Junker Queen. This tip guide was very short. I know there's not a whole lot to go about, and but I don't have a lot that you do with Junker Queen. She has a set amount of playstyle, I feel like. There's not a lot that you do. There's some things you can do and some few mechanics you have, but it's not that much. She's a straightforward character, straightforward tank. You do what you do, but I hope nonetheless that some of these tips help. These one-shot capability tips, and try them on your own, however they fit your playstyle. But if there's any other heroes you would like to see me do a small guide on, big guide, and let me know in the comments. So far I've done Doomfist and Genji, and this is Junker Queen, mommy Junker Queen. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one, and much love. Bye bye.